Hey there again, Brody here with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. I have a copy of Blueprints of Mad King Ludwig. That was sent to me by Bezier Games. This is a flip and sketch game where players are competing against each other of drawing the most extravagant blueprint for King Ludwig's next castle that he's building. Which of the designs will be the next castle? Well, we won't know until you play the game. Here is the game set up for us on the table. Each player has their own starting sketch sheet that starts off with a foyer there. The start player starts with the castle eraser. These are the room cards, and depending on the number of players in the game, a different amount of cards are shuffled in. Then you will reveal cards by the amount of players playing in the game plus 2. This is the current market. The game comes with a lot of different King's Favor tokens, but 4 are randomly chosen, and these will be the goals for all the players during the game. The player who gains the most of the listed item will gain 15 points, the second place player will gain 8 points, third place 4 points, and fourth place will gain 1 point. So you want to have the most of the listed item than all the other players playing in the game. Players start with 2 bonus cards, but can gain more. These cards can be scored for each completed utility room completed in your castle. Each player will also receive a reference card and a score sheet to keep track of stats throughout the game. Lastly, each player will choose a royal decree card, which gives unique bonuses for each player. So now it's time to play. To start, players will all decide what type of room they want their foyer to be, and they will color in that room with that color. Each room type is assigned a color. These are listed on the colored pencils, but are also seen on your reference card as well, so you can kind of see what goes with what. The game is played over 10 rounds where players choose a card to sketch in turn order, and after sketching the room, this card is then placed in your own room discard pile, you could think of it as, with the most recent cards being placed on top, and the turn order is then determined by the size of the room last chosen, smallest to largest. Whenever you go last, you will fill in the go last circle on your score sheet, and when you collect 3 of those, you'll gain a reward. Whenever you add a room, which is always filled in with its matching color, with entrances connecting to other entrances, you will check to see if you completed any rooms by connecting or removing all entrances to that room. When you do this, you gain the completion bonus associated with that room type. On your score sheet, you will fill in the circle when you earn this reward, and then when you fill in the flag when you have used the reward, so you can keep track if you've used the rewards that you have. Sometimes this might be at the same time of receiving it, and other times it might be later on down the road. When first sketching, you will need to stay within the starting area. The dotted lines are currently out of bounds, but you can earn those areas by completing a specific room type to expand your area. Let's go over all the possible room types that you can make. Food rooms are yellow, and each completed food room will give you an extra turn at the end of the round, choosing another card and sketching it on your sheet like normal. Sleeping rooms are blue, and its completion bonus lets you sketch any number of entrances of your active room that you picked and place them in different location than what's shown on the card. Downstairs rooms are gray, and they all need to be connected one with each other. When one of these rooms are completed, they will give you a secret passage that helps connect more entrances and complete rooms within your castle. The secret passage is sketched in any room's wall, allowing it to connect with another room or for a courtyard. Living rooms are purple. Completed living rooms will let you remove an entrance from a previously sketched room, making it easier to complete that room. Activity rooms are red, and when one is completed, it will allow you to take a room card from the reserve pile instead of the market, giving you possibly more choices of rooms to choose from and adding that to your castle. Outdoor rooms are green, and when one of these are completed, you can expand the size of your lot. This would be allowing you to use the space outside one of the dotted lines. So, to use the entire sheet of paper, you would need to complete 4 outdoor rooms. The outdoor rooms also score 2 points for each orthogonally adjacent empty square and 1 point for each orthogonally adjacent half square connected to it. Moats are turquoise, and they will be able to remove entrances that they touch, and they score points based on the number of rooms that are behind it. Moats do not appear in the room deck, but to fill in a moat, you will have to circle in 4 and then 8 swans on your moat track. This is done by filling in a swan each time you choose a card with a swan on it or using special rewards. Moats are made in straight lines in a row or a column of any desired length, and it'll score you 2 points for each room that is fully behind that length of your moat. This doesn't mean that that room has to touch the moat, but just behind it. Utility rooms are orange, and when these rooms are completed, you can draw 2 more bonus cards, and then at the end of the game, you will score 1 bonus card for each completed utility room. Lastly, courtyards, which don't show up in the deck, but are created by making an enclosed space within your castle, and it has to have at least 1 entrance from an adjacent room. Each completed courtyard is worth 10 points each. At any time, if you don't want to add a room, you can fill in the skip turn circle to gain a reward instead. When the room deck runs out, players finish their current round and the game ends. If players have any rewards that haven't been used, then they can use them at this point to finish off what they have. And then final scoring is then performed. You will add up your points, if any, from all of your special rewards, and then add that to the points for completed rooms. This will be for outdoor rooms next to empty squares, moats that will score for rooms behind it, courtyards, they score 10 points apiece. For each utility room, you'll choose one of your bonus cards and score it. You will go through the room pile of your cards and add up the room sizes on each card and write it down. Royal decree cards can add points. Lastly, for each king's favor, you will write down points and score for those based on your ranking of how well you did them better than others. The player then with the most points wins the game. And, well, that's Blueprints of Mad King Ludwig. It's a great game where you get to design your own castle and try to obey as many different rules as you want, and you will try to figure out the best way to do that with your, options for the rooms that you can add, but also picking bonuses that you want to gain by completing rooms. The game seems pretty quick with just 10 turns, but that sounds easy. 10 rooms and boom, you're done. But in reality, with the bonuses and the extra actions, the game is actually a little bit more complex, and there's a little more in a turn than just adding 1 room each time. There are a lot of different choices in the game, and this begins with the choice from, a ton of different rooms, but also there are a ton of different ways to score points as well. The king's favor tiles will change each time that you play the game, and there are a bunch of them. So when gaining bonus cards, also, these will be different. So each time you will change what you want to add to your castle or what things you want to accomplish in the game. I remember when I was a teenager, and I thought designing a house sounded pretty fun. You put things where you want it. Well, this game has a lot of that in its play. It also combines that with some strategy of designing what the king wants by having, certain things. But the look of the game looks very nice. Everything's put together very nicely, and you can understand with all the different colors, what the purposes of each of the rooms are when you're done with the game. Players can trace their selected room that they choose, or they can freehand it, and the end result can be very fun to look at and compare with the other players. We really like this game. We thought that drawing that, might look more detailed type rooms onto tracing paper was, going to be harder than what it actually is, and we thought, it would maybe take away from some of that fun. But there was none of that happening. It was really easy to design and put the rooms down what you wanted. Ultimately, this is a game where players can create, and even for those that don't feel like they are creative, this game still lets you be creative. And in this creation of plans for a castle that, you just can't help but feel good about it, even if you don't win the game, because let's face it, what Mad King Ludwig wants is not really what you want as well. Again, this is Brody with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are new and working hard to bring to you videos like this one, so you know if these games are one that you want to get to your own table.